Honorable Minister of Interior, I must place on record here to say I commend you for the tireless effort on renovation and rejigging the Ministry of Interior, passports issuance, lessen the frustration of Nigerian homes and abroad on the time that has been taken. You've created a change in the dynamic and the game we face in the country. Not only you are eliminating the fact that the blame of our country, the anger shown by people is reduced, and they have messages commending your efforts, and today is another game changer. The honorable ministers here present, distinguished Senator Adam Oshiomhole, all other members of the National Assembly, and Comrade Chief of Staff, we say, all the senior government of service, head of service, and other senior government officials. Let me also take this opportunity to congratulate the newly appointed Comptroller General of Immigration, who was appointed just a few days ago. Congratulations. We hope you continue to renew our hope. I have the honor to be part of Expatriate Employment Levy Program handbook. I consider it a game changer. It is important to know that ELL is a contribution recently approved by the government, which will impose effective timeline on expatriate workers in this country to be able to train and develop Nigerians. I've listened to Honorable Adam Oshiomhole, our distinguished senator, making very good and valid points on why Nigerians should be in the forefront of technology transfer and stem the brain drain associated with our current situation. We expect revenue generation improvement, improved naturalization and indigenization, employment of more Nigerians by foreign companies operating in this country, balancing of employment opportunity between Nigerians and expatriates, close wage gap between the expatriate and the Nigerian labor force by making it more attractive to hire Nigerians. We must assure Nigerians that there's light at the end of the tunnel. We might be going through difficult periods. Now, when you look at the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, there, Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget, National Planning, and people manning this ship of this country, including Central Bank of Nigeria, they have collaborated. And in the spirit of development and progress, we are glad that good effort is being made to retool, re-engineer the finances of the country, and make growth our hallmark. I've been further assured that the project has the capacity of plugging loopholes and gaps that have bedeviled the country in dealing with security challenges. Movement of foreigners in and out of the country. Interestingly, this scheme will wield the dual fold of revenue generation as well as addressing the unemployment challenges and salary gaps attendant in the remuneration of expatriate workers as compared with Nigerian counterparts. I declare my support for the expatriate employment levy scheme, and I will continue to encourage the operators, practitioners of the immigration matters and expatriate quotas, but don't use it as a bottleneck. Don't use it to frustrate potential investors. There must be clear line of implementation and effective acceleration of aims and objectives of this program. Immigration matters and expatriate quotas and relevant stakeholders are to be effectively guided to make Nigeria the focus of the objective of this EAA. Therefore, it is my honor that the handbook expatriate employment levy is hereby launched. Thank you. God bless Nigeria.
Mr. President, sir, I'm very honored to be invited to be part of this event. And I'm very excited that this whole thing, at the end of the day, centered around the need to ensure that jobs that Nigeria can do are handled by Nigerians and not by expatriates. I have been concerned about how we can put in place a policy that will ensure that companies, whether indigenous companies or foreign companies, don't bring technicians and rate them as engineers, and some Nigerian engineers work under them as technicians. At a time when we have huge numbers of unemployment, besides encouraging investment in the manufacturing sector and other labor-intensive sectors, it's important that those that are already here, that the job that we can do them. Mr. President, I'm very excited that the Honorable Minister of Interior has called to show leadership, commitment to national prosperity, and removing all the obstacles that just a few years back were thought to be insurmountable. This, for me, Mr. President, is yet another bold initiative. I am on record as having visited the former minister, and I said to him that I was disappointed about the rate at which people come to Nigeria as tourists, and they're able doing even many jobs across the land. Now, without having to do a petition to the Honorable Minister of Interior or or bringing him to the Senate floor to tell us why he should not pursue policies like this. I'm excited that on his own initiative, he has developed these policies and he has already enumerated all the potential benefits that will come from it. I can only assure you, Mr. President, that we in the Senate were excited. I will communicate this to my colleagues because we all have to share with Mr. President the burden of putting in place appropriate policies that will ensure that more and more Nigerians are engaged, and they are engaged in jobs that are good-paying jobs. That is the way to fight and defeat poverty in the long run. It's a good message. It's not a lecture. There is nothing I can say that the Honorable Minister has not already said. Just to say, sir, that I am excited about this, that Nigeria will be a dumping ground anymore for foreign unskilled labor. And foreigners, beside the revenue that will accrue, I believe the minister, having thought through this, will ensure that if somebody must remain in Nigeria for 10 years, he can't have any excuse not to be able to train a Nigerian to take over that job. Nigeria jobs for Nigeria, that should be the slogan. So, Honorable Minister, I want to congratulate you. And Honorable Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief, this truly is a renewed hope for the unemployed, skilled Nigerians who want to work, who are able to work, but whose jobs are currently being done by foreigners who sometimes are not as qualified as those Nigerians. Congratulations, Mr. President.
I'm highly delighted to welcome you all and our partners to the launch of the Expatriate Employment Levy, EEL project. The EEL is a contribution imposed by government on organizations who employ expatriate workers in Nigeria with the aim of both labor and technological domestication in Nigeria. The project will be operated on a public-private partnership, PPP model, between the federal government of Nigeria, represented by the Ministry of Interior as the guarantor, with the Nigeria Immigration Service, NIS, as implementing agency. And the technical partner is Mrs. EEL Projects Limited. The project was approved by FEC on 17th of May 2023. At this juncture, I wish to express my gratitude to His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for his leadership and mentorship, and finding time as well, despite his schedule, to launch this project. It is worthy of note to mention that the project is in line with the 8-point agenda of Mr. President, especially on the issue of job security and economic growth. Please recall that successive governments of the Federal Republic of Nigeria have sought ways to increase employment, domesticate technology, and as well increase revenue generation while creating wealth through PPP initiatives in MDAs. It's important to note that this project will, among others, as I said earlier, lead to technological domestication in our country. Also, huge revenue generation to government, especially at this particular point in time. Improved nationalization and indigenization level within the labor space. Employment of more Nigerians by foreign companies, by both foreign and local companies operating in the country. The main essence is to be sure that if you are bringing an expatriate to work in Nigeria, it should be a job that no Nigerian has the skill to do. That's the major objective of this particular initiative. Balancing of employment opportunities between Nigerians and expatriates. And of course, closing wage gaps between expatriates and the Nigerian labor force by making it more attractive to hire Nigerians. Knowledge transfer and technological domestication. It is our belief that the renewed hope agenda under the leadership of our amiable President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will be achieved within the labor space as more Nigerians will have opportunity to participate within the labor space. Having reviewed the outline business case, the OBC, The ministry, in collaboration with relevant MDAs, carried out due diligence to interrogate issues around reciprocity, legality, concession, taxation, backlashes, etc., vis-a-vis economic and political implications. A project delivery team, PDT, drawn from the Ministry of Interior, Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, Nigerian Immigration Services, and the Federal Ministry of Justice further engaged the company and successfully drew up a robust concession agreement. As a guide, a comprehensive handbook has been developed on the project to guide stakeholders, especially the whole foreign-owned companies, joint venture companies, organizations, and indigenous companies that employ expatriates to understand the concept as well as to comply with the new ideal. It's important I say this, that part of the motivation is to reduce the dependence of companies on foreign personnel, and of course to also reduce the rate at which renewal for expatriate quota is being sought after by companies. If this is well implemented, of which we can assure Your Excellency, it will be duly implemented. We want to see a scenario whereby once an expatriate comes, there should be a knowledge transition period of which Nigerians should be trained to be able to take over this responsibility and create opportunities for our teeming youth. Today, therefore, marks a historic launch of this project for operationalization. I wish to personally thank His Excellency once again for his mentorship, for his leadership, and for standing up for Nigeria at this particular point in time, for being able to take the bold decisions. Mr. President, we want to thank you for giving renewed hope a special place in the history of Nigeria. God bless Nigeria, and God bless His Excellency.